Geocentric model. Standard model creation. Standard model creators. Multiverse model. Web page and video are not AI generated. Your host, Richard E. Noer. Logical thinking, the standard model of the universe has reached a dead end. There are some things that just can't be explained, like the speed of light, time, gravity, anti-gravity, dark energy, and magnetism. So science has asked you to believe in solutions without physical, or relative evidence. This would be stellar and galactic black holes, the extreme heat of a singularity Big Bang, the creation of matter, the warping of space-time, runaway gravitational collapse, gravity waves, the vast expanse of empty space, time travel, stellar core fusion, photons, and the evolution of quarks, leptons, and bosons that created a universe. TM did not try and fit its theory with all of these beliefs. Credibility level 1 to 3. Instead, we evaluated these ideas and took a different road. Finally, we must understand that mathematics is not the defining authority, it can be manipulated and tweaked, like E equals mc squared. TM says, when you use a tool like Encyclopedia 82.8, SORMEL, chances are, your conclusions will be far more accurate. If you can theoretically build a universe that all fits together, regardless of old unproven concepts, the outcome will be closer to the truth. That's just what TM did. This means that a universal theory must correctly explain the relationship of nothing, matter, and energy. It must also be able to change these relationships with the evolution of time. And finally, we must understand the universe is perfect, and that's why it is the way it is. Nothing can change that. Conclusion: for a credible explanation of how the universe exists and works, a theory must be able to back up its claims with extremely strong, physical, and relative evidence, not just beliefs. Aristotle contemplating the bust of Homer. Rembrandt, Metropolitan Museum, NYC. The Power of Logic. Flammarion, illustration. 1888. Notice there are black stars. Each time a puzzle piece fits, failure to correctly identify the picture decreases. What do you do when you believe the basic thinking about the singularity universe is wrong? Answer: you start from scratch and put together a new theory that answers unsolved problems of the old, and propose new solutions that are better and more plausible. That is just what the multiverse did. I can see why nobody would want to do this. The new theory is radically different because the old basic understanding doesn't all fit together and it is not logical. It hasn't been updated in 100 years. The new ideas are better explanations because we have learned so much more about the universe, multiverse. This will change textbooks. It goes against well-established and comfortable thinking. A lot of people will get mad, and of course, they would say, where's the proof? They have and did say, there's no mathematics so it can't be right. I say not so fast. The universe doesn't care about mathematics, it is what it is. These are the logical facts. The universe, multiverse, existence, follows a path of least resistance. It evolves with a progression of time. The very basic things are matter, energy, and a polarizing or non-polarizing spatial force, nothing else. In the multiverse, matter can exist without energy, but energy cannot exist without matter. The reason for this is, energy is movement, and you need matter to have movement. Next, there is only one way that parts of the cosmos can get bigger, and that is because it has to expand space. This can only happen if you can create mass. Since matter cannot be created or destroyed, it is space that has to be produced. The area we are talking about is not the so-called expanse of nothing between planets, stars, and galaxies. Expanding nothing is not possible. This is because an expanse has height, width, and depth with energy, nothing does not. So the expanse of nothing is an oxymoron and can't exist. See, on the other hand, if you can expand the spatial distance inside and outside all particles and bodies of the multiverse, you can create the vast expanse of the cosmos. This is done by energetic particles and bodies. They create space by moving, banging into each other, vibrating and or spinning. This space TM calls dark energy. Dark energy can expand, contract, and has height, width, and depth with tiny bits of matter. Now the tricky part: if these tiny bits of matter are molded and compressed into spheres with spinning energy, they create a new spatial force. Polarized space. So particles create space, that's a given. When they move, more space is produced, but when they are spinning, it becomes a whole new existence. This is what creates the vast dark matter seas of the multiverse. Now the only thing left to do is to justify the polarized and non-polarized force. This is not as hard as it sounds, and I bet you have already figured it out. Magnetism is the only spatial force with north and south poles, a one-way magnetic flow, with an attracting-repelling force field. Dark energy. I have no idea why someone hasn't thought of this simple solution before. Maybe because it was assumed you can't create a vast expanse of empty space, it was always there. TM says, don't assume a fundamental truth. Conclusion, energetic primal and spherical particle matter is the only thing that can create mass. Matter by itself has height, width, and depth, but it can't produce more space unless it has active energy. When you add dark energy, gravity, and anti-gravity to matter and its mass, you now have an expanding, contracting, hot, cold, magnetic, flowing multiverse, and all its wonders. In closing, this explanation seems a little complex, but it is actually quite simple when you consider it violates no rules and explains all of existence. TM theory's greatest strength is in the factual way the universe exists and works. This means that every minute detail of the theory must fit together precisely to achieve a known and confirmed result. The creation and function of building blocks such as dark matter particles, protons, electrons, neutrons, atoms, molecules, structures, black stars, etc. All these things must be explained in a way that fits with evolution and science. The interactions of matter and energy concerning evolution must also be consistent with known science and observations. All phenomena have to be explained as to how they were created, interact, thus producing results that are known as facts. This would be the energy of gravity, anti-gravity, dark energy, heat, cold, expansion, contraction, compression, magnetism, magnetic fields, quantum fields, electric charge, sound, light and magnetic waves. Finally, the new theory must also be able to give a clear understanding to the progression of time. If your theory can't do all these things, it has a low probability of being correct. The Standard Model cannot claim this achievement, but the Grand Unified Theory can. When you put all the countless pieces of the multiverse together in the right place, with the right sequence and no missing parts, a new awareness comes into focus. When it is right, everything falls into place, and at last you can finally see the whole, unmistakable, clear picture. It becomes truly awesome. Then, you will wonder why it took so long to figure it out. Spontaneous fusion reaction. You are looking directly through dark matter and magnetic polarized space. Decompressing hydrogen fuses into helium, and is created by the force of gravity, anti-gravity, and quantum fields. Boldly go where no one has gone before, at warp speed. Because you made it this far, here is an Easter egg of profound logic. The multiverse predicts that dark matter space is a mixture of spinning primal matter and a polarized spatial force, with no holes or vacuums anywhere. Now, here is a profound thought experiment of logic that complies with all we know. What if you could create real empty space, a vacuum, or a total expanse of nothing? TM predicts, traveling faster than light, would most certainly be possible, but still not the traveling forwards or backwards of time. In the subatomic world of universal particles, size and rotational interactions are very complex. The ability of particles and magnetic fields to repel and attract is based on pole and plane orientation. The interaction of intertwined particle fields is also complicated. Because of the sheer numbers of particles involved, it becomes an impossible task to explain how each one relates. Therefore, the actual result of their interactions has been simplified for the sake of understanding. The net effect has been concluded to fit with known science, observations, relativity, evolution, mathematics, and logic. Sormel. As you can see, I took a few liberties to keep it short and simple. I know there is a lot of science in each explanation, but there is only one way it all works. Here at the Multiverse we didn't try to fit the way the universe behaves with theories. We tried to fit it all together so it would function the way we have observed. So far as we can tell, there are no conflicts, no contradictions, and no prejudice or bias. Just maybe, we have accomplished the elusive, but most certainly a reachable goal. If there's a better way, we want to hear it. Your host, Richard E. Noer. Young me. Mini me. Email, noerastronomy@gmail.com. Here in a multiverse, our goal is to find the cosmic truth. No matter where, or how far it takes you, the universe truly does unify. If you get the basics right,